Oh, buddy, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. We got to get into this. That's right. Your boy Carcino here, and my God, things are going from worse to worse. This woman here, Miss Faraji, has messed up a big old bag for a lot of these people. Either she's going to win a very huge lawsuit or she's finna be slapped with one of the biggest countersuits in the history of mankind. She would not be able to operate no more. I hope she's ready for this legal fight that she's gotten herself into. Because not only are you going against Fox, you're going up against the entire network of people who back Fox. And Charlie and everybody else. And more than the Skip Bayless news, which she's really kind of is like, her real beef is with Charlie Dixon and the other females that work there. She really went after Joy Taylor and Skip Bayless the most. And then basically said Skip was kind of an ally until his last days there. Now, what we noticed at the highest level is that there's always going to be confusion, and it's always going to be some type of disdain at the top of the totem pole. But what we just learned today was even more crazy. You know, when stuff start breaking out, stuff start happening, right? So everybody wants to go back to all of the things when all of these actions were taking place, and people were saying, like, because the internet has no chill. The internet has been going off. Now, when you go off on social media, normally people don't react that works for the company. They just ignore it, let people burn themselves out with it, and wait till it dies down. This has been going on for over 24 hours. Plus, Emmanuel Acho, who was named in this lawsuit, deleted a video that he was praising Joy Taylor on. That doesn't look good for Joy. That is awful. That Emmanuel Acho would delete a video that would praise Joy Taylor. Why would he do that? So this is turning into a situation that is going to get even more uglier than what people realize. This lady has really thrown a monkey wrench in the program. So even though he deleted it, the internet is forever. You're not getting out. You're not out. So as you can see here,
a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor, a woman just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor, a woman, a Black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a Black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you. and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week. Just got done with rehearsal.
So after they just did the rehearsals for the show, he's excited Joy Taylor was coming over there. My shock was that, like, what? Ocho with a black woman? What? Ocho don't do that. Like, are serious? They was like, well, you know, she's mixed. So, you know, he probably feel a certain way about it. I'm like, Ocho? So you think Acho and his situation and the dating prowess, when stuff like this happen, people start going through your past, who you dated, how long it lasted, what happened. Mm-hmm. Well, no. He dated a comedian. Yvonne Orgy or Orgy, yeah, Orgy. That was his girlfriend. That was his ex-girlfriend. She's Nigerian American woman. Mm-hmm. So that's who he dated in the past. So, but I'm like, Ocho and Joy don't get along. You know, like I'm just like, I know that these two don't get along. And they was like, Sino, that's the act. I was like, oh, I didn't see that because I'm like, everybody on the set and the people like they kind of don't get along. You know, they always button heads. They was like, oh no, that's the act. Like they do that for the show and they do, yeah, that's just the act. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, that's their act. Like they do that as the act. And I'm like, oh, okay. But he's like, nah, because the real life situation behind it is even more scary. The real life situation is more in line of, you know, this situation doesn't benefit what we're doing here. You feel me? The real life situation is that if you look at the show, you can kind of read between the lines. You can see Shady, you know what I'm saying, be trying to throw his shots at Joy on the show. And you can see Ocho be kind of cock blocking. So it looked like, oh, okay. Chargers a win. I don't know if it's -7. I wouldn't take -7, but I would take the Chargers to win on the money line. No, they don't. They didn't possess that. Oh no, buddy. Here's the big surprise of the day. And what many didn't understand and many didn't know. Okay. once it came down to this element of surprise, or however you want to put it, when everybody's talking about this Joy Taylor and the lawsuit and what was happening there, what people didn't understand is that the networks was aware that this lawsuit was coming. So when Skip was fired, and this is why Skip was let go, they were aware that something was brewing that was going to probably torpedo everything. And they wanted to get Skip out of there because Skip wasn't going along with the program. So what I was told today was that the Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor situation had to be neutralized by, in case this lawsuit ever was to come, by splitting the two up. The two could no longer work together because everybody seemed to know what was going on. So Joy would take over Speak, and Emmanuel Ocho would take over the slot where Skip Bayless used to be. So he's getting bumped up to the primetime spot where they were going to move First Things First. But now they figure that it's best to have First Things First, which it isn't First Things First anymore. It was named First Things First because it was so early in the morning. And now it doesn't make sense to be called First Things First when you come on in the afternoon. Fox Sports 1 is going to have a big day today. The numbers are going to be through the roof. But they saying to appease the situation with Joy Taylor and the Skip Bayless and everything else with that incident, and they were getting Skip out of there. Skip knew in advance that he was going to be let go. And he was just going through the motions when they came back with Undisputed. They did not like the fact Skip had all the power on Undisputed, so they wanted to destroy the show because Jamie Horowitz gave him that power when he first got there in 2016. Now, with the departure of Shannon Sharp, who people would think are behind helping his hairstylist get, the lawyers and everything together to go out to Fox, that's going to create another path of deception and, another path of drama behind the scenes. A lot of people are going to be making all kind of, like, Shannon's trying to get back at Skip. Skip's going to try his best to not show what's happening here. And, this is the only way you could get Skip because he can't get his hands on him. Everybody's going to have salacious stories that's coming left and right behind Joy Taylor. Now, this torpedoes Joy Taylor's career. For years, I've always made more money than Joy Taylor. When I was telling people this years ago, people thought it's cap. Because you see people on TV does not mean they're breaking the bank. I was making more money than people on ESPN. I was making more money than those guys who sit in the suits and talk in the studio, and I'm right here on YouTube. And they didn't recognize or understand that the internet had money. They know now, but then they didn't know. So people were making far more money, and there was very less any parameters or anything like that. And not to put it out, but she makes very low. Well, she did. I'm not saying she's doing that now. Now she's probably making a very good contract. But Joy Taylor was making, when she was doing Undisputed, she was making low six figures. Very low. Like barely doing six figures when she was first doing moderator for Undisputed. She got a raise to doing low six figures for the year just to be on the herd. Then she got another increase as a co-host for Speak. Now, she was able to come up fast. And yes, her looks did play a part in her getting her raise and everything. She put her boobs to work. Now, is it hard to believe Charlie Dixon did all these things? No. Is it hard to believe that Joy Taylor is in a situation now where she allegedly was gifted things because she couldn't afford the California lifestyle, uprooting herself from Miami? So, yes, she knows she got those fun bags, and she loves to show her fun bags off because that gives her endorsements and sponsorships. So she started doing that more and more on her page on Instagram. Within the past 2 years, not really, Ted. That's why you don't see too many back shots of Joy. But she kind of got her mama's back. But that's beside the point. Now, Taylor Rooks came up fast because she's already in a relationship. Taylor Rooks is in a relationship. She's dating someone. But Taylor Rooks' father was a running back. Yeah, up here in Illinois. She went to college out here at the same university. She got into broadcasting, and she is easy on the eyes, believe me. And yes, the way Taylor Rooks look, it's like earthquaking. It gets a lot of attention and eyes on you, and people start talking about you on social media. Joy was selected to go up against Molly Curran. When they wanted to do their show, Molly was the moderator. They needed a young, hot girl to be in there who guys who are young going to be watching the show going to go, damn, who is that? Never seen her before. And nobody at Fox had the qualifications like Joy Taylor. Joy came in there looking great. So when they did the test run with Joy, Joy couldn't talk. She couldn't speak. She would fumble her words. She wasn't a very good speaker. What's up, Dow G? Appreciate it. Yes, don't forget to support the page. Thanks for the super chat. So allegedly, Emmanuel Ocho deleting that message because it made him look bad was a sign that there's problems in the horizon. Because him deleting a message where he's thanking Joy Taylor and talking about Joy and how she worked hard to get where she is. She had a podcast show with Taylor Rooks, and she's telling women what they got to do. You just got to work hard and you can get everything you got. Well, she did put in some work. Apparently, that's the way they're trying to make it look. Now, this lady said a bunch of things in her lawsuit, and we got to remember these are accusations. But it's not out of the possibility and realm of reality. The only thing that's not realistic is Skip Bayless offering $1.5 million to smash. Now, if you know Skip Bayless and how that man operates, you know him offering $1.5 million to smash you, then keep you around when he doesn't need you is crazy. If he's threatening for you to lose your job or sleep with him, why would he offer you $1.5 million? That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, when you start looking at the situations when it's up in the air, now you start to see where it made sense. They made it look like those two didn't get along. So that's why it would be like, oh, they don't get along, so we had to split them up. But that was the act, it was told to me. They was like, no, see, no, that was the act. They made it look like Joe and Ocho didn't like each other. Like they're butting heads, like they had problems. I was like, oh, okay. So now it makes sense because I was like, wait, Ocho and Joey didn't get along. That's what I was under the impression. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. They don't get along. They was, no, so, that was the act. I was like, oh, okay. It was, yeah, that was the act, bro. Like you fell for the act. No, absolutely. Like they split. Like they knew something was brewing here that was going to come and destroy. Like this girl was looking at lawsuits. She was unhappy with her termination. And now she wants to take everything down. This hairstylist. So they moved Emmanuel Ocho over. It's like, well, Skip didn't fire the woman. Like they said, like, Skip, you the only one keeping this woman on the road. We trying to get rid of her. So once Undisputed was done, they had no more use for her. They were like, well, Undisputed is done. We have no reason to keep you around. That's over. We're going to rotate and do what they call the carousel. When you do the carousel, that means that you're taking all of the other players or the other members and you're moving them to other shows. So Paul Pierce, they kept him because they got him under contract. So they said, all right, we're going to get this new show, put you with Emmanuel Ocho, and we'll move Michael Irvin and all those guys over there and call it The Facility. You see, they can't use Undisputed because Skip Bayless owns the name. He named the show Undisputed with Skip Bayless. So he owns that. So they would have to pay him for that. So the show would be renamed. It's called The Facility now. And there's no more one personality having control and final say. Skip Bayless had final say. Nobody else has final say. That has been removed from anybody on the show. Nobody on Fox now has final say over anything, not even Colin Cowherd. Colin might get it in his new deal if they decide to keep him, but he's still under negotiations for that. Who owns First Take? ESPN. Stephen A. Smith has no ownership of First Take. They made him executive producer now, which only means he's got an EP credit into the show, but he can't take First Take anywhere. He can't control hiring and firing. All he could do is make suggestions. And now he feels that he's a big man because now he's finally executive producer of a show he doesn't produce. So now he feels like he's the director too. And the show is terrible, by the way. Like, First Take is just absolute garbage. Right. I don't even watch it anymore. It's a hard watch. So to watch them just I'm like, oh my God. To see them fake it for 3 hours is like, I can't do that. Shut him up! Are you gonna tell me? No, CJ. What you know? You know LeBron James get bad Michael Jordan. I'll be like, oh my God, I can't do this. I haven't watched a full show in years. Exactly. So on the Patreon, we're gonna put up the entire lawsuit. So you guys can see the entire lawsuit, because the entire lawsuit is crazy. But this is why they split up Emmanuel Ocho and Joy Taylor. The network said, uh-oh, we might have a problem with this lady. So when they got rid of Skip, they was off the air for a while, because I already knew, we're getting rid of this show. We're getting rid of this woman who Joy Taylor brought to Fox. And she told the lady in the lawsuit, you wouldn't even be working here if I didn't bring you in and said I wanted you to do my hair. And she was with her all the way for 7 years, until she did like 1 year on Speak, and her and Joy Taylor started to clash. And Joy didn't want her working on her no more, because Joy started to go with this pro-black thing, and I'm a black woman, and everybody is looking at me as this pro-black. So she's starting to get more stuff like looks and BET and all this stuff, like Joy, like Taylor Rooks, and her being cool with Taylor, and Taylor Rooks she's making way more money than Joy Taylor. And it's like, whoa, how are you doing this? Because she's NFL, she's NBA. So she's getting way more attention and look, and she has no deal. Like, she wasn't signed with like an NBC deal or something with the NBA. She just was signed to a network that was paying her. Then she had a deal with the National Football League. So she had started doing her own interviews and getting her own name out there. She started posing, not in bikinis, but she's posing in dresses. She's hanging with the movers and shakers. That's why she's at the white party. She's aligned herself with money. So now Joy Taylor is her friend, and she was trying to get Joy there. Joy, I need a black hairdresser. I need my hair dressed up like a black woman now. Because when her hair was first getting done, she wasn't doing like the braids. She wasn't doing all those hairstyles. She was making her hair look like a white girl. Then all of a sudden, she wanted to try to be more black. I met Joy Taylor in Hawaii. That's where I met Joy. I believe we played volleyball together. That was it. During the Pro Bowl weekend. No. When trust me, back then Joy Taylor was about no, she wasn't on my radar and wouldn't be on yours either. She wasn't this. It wasn't this Joy Taylor. No. We're talking about 20 years ago. So you like I think the Ravens had just won the Super Bowl against the Giants. Well, people's sleeping patterns are off because when you're in Hawaii, Hawaii is behind everybody. They're the last to do everything. So you're looking at maybe a 4 or 5 hour difference in time. So when everybody is celebrating somewhere else, Hawaii is like the last people to celebrate. Like New Year's, everybody in the world be celebrating New Year's, and then Hawaii is last. No, that's what I'm saying. Joy Taylor isn't what you thought. Now, she often said she was in a bad relationship, in an abusive relationship. Now, no, she doesn't say if that was the divorce she just got out of with her husband as the reason why, but she was in an abusive relationship. And going through that abuse, Joy Taylor was the face of domestic abuse. And this is what she went through and how she had to get her confidence back and all of these different things. But if you look at how Joy Taylor made it, like how she survived and make it in this game, and coming from Miami to going to an expensive California to do the show. You're going, the difference is life changing. I'm serious. The conditions that we're talking about is life changing. So she came in as a day-to-day on the show. Like if somebody is sick, Joy would fill in. Like when Joy was sick on the show or wouldn't come into the show, you would see Alex Curry would fill in. That's how I first saw Alex Curry. So yeah, that's how I first saw Alex Curry. I didn't know what show she was on prior to that, but Alex Curry is very knowledgeable in baseball. And she's very good friends with Joy Taylor. And they were the two bustiest girls on the show. But when she had her show Flipping Bats, Alex Curry, you knew exactly where she stood. And to get an opportunity on here, you actually had to be pretty good. And when you look at the situation that's unfolding in front of you, you start to see how this could be, plausible. Because how could Joy Taylor afford to live in California? Rich California, coming from Miami, where she was just a bartender and had that little radio show where she talked sports in Miami. And I saw that radio show. So I heard her do radio before. So that's why I never knew she was bartending, but I know she did the radio show. But still, to leave that and just come to be day to day for Fox to do fill-ins, you got to live in Cali. So I don't think her brother was I know her brother was helping her out a lot, but I don't know if he was putting her in this situation to live with, But it's plausible that old freaky Charlie, I got to get my dicks in, said, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to finance your place so you have a place to live, give you transportation, a vehicle, all of this stuff you need. But here's what I need. If that came along with what was coming along during that time, when she said we had a meeting and I was there with her, and since she was new to California, her hairstylist, who she basically friended, would take her places. So it sounds plausible that Charlie would do that because somebody needed to basically bankroll her and help put her in these situations. So, all right. And then to be gifted a car, all of these situations, Mercedes trucks, vehicles. Now, she has a Mercedes Jeep, right? And she started dating a person that used to fill in or work at Fox. Earl Watson, the former coach of the... Oh, yeah, because she got her divorce once she got the show Undisputed. Once she got Undisputed, it was either, okay, this is where you're going to be. And he lived in Miami, her husband, and this is what it was going to be. The husband and her end up splitting up in 2016, whether it's because he found out about an affair or whatever. Was he the abusive husband? We don't know. All we know is they got a divorce in 2016, right? And then she got the show. Now, the long distance of the marriage could be the problem. He didn't want to leave Miami. She has a career getting ready to start, look like for her in California. And the distance, and that could have, drove a wedge into the marriage. I've seen that happen before. And, you can look at Jalen Rose and Molly Curran, same situation, where the problem started once the work took them away from each other. Now, here's where the other problems come in to be. Skip lost his mind. I don't believe Skip offered that woman 1.5. Now, on my Casino for Life Patreon, we're going to really take y'all on a trip, because now we're going to take y'all to a whole different situation with Joy Taylor that was I'm quite sure they're going to use it in the court, but I have to save that for the Patreon. I'll show y'all on the Patreon what I'm talking about. The internet, they don't miss nothing. Now, I watched every episode of Undisputed, so I remember exactly what it was. It was like the second or third year on the show. They were doing the shows, or the seasons, rather. And she said something about Shannon. Well, Shannon said something to Joy Taylor. And that's when she was like, what? Gave Shannon that look like, what are you talking about? Exactly. So when she worked with Colin Cowherd, Skip and Joy didn't get along. Skip never gets along with any moderators. He has had that since ESPN. He got Kerry Champion up out of there. He got everybody out of there, right? Except for Molly. Molly knew she was in a situation that, hey, I didn't sleep with who I had to sleep with to get in here. So they told me I'm good. You can't get me fired. And that was it. Kerry Champion just couldn't deal with it no more. So when Skip left and they got her, Skip and Joy kept bumping heads, and Joy was always favorable to Skip's side over Shannon's on the show. But when she wasn't there, and like she'll miss a day because she was late or whatever, and this is when they had blew up at her because it's like, look, Joy, you can't be getting sick, and oh, this ain't that kind of job. You're gonna get replaced. So yeah. So what happened at that point was they brought in Jenny Taft. Jenny Taft filled in. It was the very first season. Jenny Taft filled in and showed her how to do the job. It was like night and day between Joy Taylor and Jenny Taft. Jenny Taft is, veteran at this. She came in, was very professional, had her notes in front of her. Joy didn't have any notes in front of her. She had a laptop on the table, and that was about it. And it was like, wow, she has no notes, none. And now it's like, well, you got to have notes. But then she's like, well, all she's doing is reading the teleprompter. But I'm like, you should still have notes in front of you. Moderate. She didn't know anything about being a moderator. They basically said, sit there, look pretty, and read what's on the card and send us a commercial. And she was just in the middle of these two, smiling, looking good, and that would bring the guys in. And it worked. Now you got something good to look at when they got in there. Oh no, I have followed this from the beginning. Remember, I covered everything. So when it was going on, I was the one asking for Joy Taylor to speak. I was the one who knew Joy Taylor was leaving Undisputed before anybody else. And I was on Instagram thanking Joy Taylor, saying, thank you, Joy Taylor. Thank you, Joy Taylor. People didn't know what I was talking about. But everybody eventually found out when she left Undisputed and went to the Herd. Well, I wanted to root for her because I saw her from the beginning coming up to being what she is now as far as being better at her job. When she first started, I used to ask them to give her more speaking engagements. I'm like, Joy needs to speak more. To say it all like over and over to my ears like bled. Joy needs to speak more. Then when they finally gave her the speaking engagement, that's when people started to notice things and said, oh, okay, we get it now. So it was a case on domestic violence. And Shannon and Skip basically shut up and gave the floor to Joy. Like, okay, it's a domestic violence one. Let's hand this one over to Joy. Well, Joy, you've been beat up in your life. Tell us about it. What did the foot feel like? That's basically how they came at it with her. To me, which was very surprising. They chose to take that direction. The scenarios are never going to fit anybody expectations. Because they don't need to. So according to her, Joy Taylor was basically sleeping with Emmanuel Acho and still over the years sleeping with Charlie Dixon. Then she claims Charlie Dixon, Era Watson found out about Charlie Dixon in the affair while he was engaged to her. Charlie Dixon is the one paying for the weddings setup and all this, and he found out, I guess, from somebody at the job saying, she's sleeping with Charlie Dixon. And she denied this affair or whatever, and he found out it was true, and he called off the engagement. Now, whether that's true or false, we don't know. But we do know that there was a blow up. I never had that estimation where mm-mm. No, 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 no. I did call Angela Yee leaving the Breakfast Club. Absolutely. But Emmanuel Ocho deleting videos does not look good for Joy Taylor. When he was the one praising her after the rehearsal shoot and thanking her and talking about how hard she worked to get the show.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you. and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
So, while promoting Joy Taylor, he didn't promote any more of his hosts, just him and Joy Taylor. So that looked pretty weird. That Shady McCoy, you didn't promote him. Jay Johnson, you ain't promote him. We had to rave. Right. We had to rave about only certain people. Yeah. We had to rave only about certain people. Well, I don't know if Ocho has wife and kids. I know the girl he was dating, a Nigerian comedian, and she's, no, he's not married that I know. He was single. She's a black woman. And a comedian. Like, that's his ex. I was just shocked she was black. I did not see Ocho as a guy that would be with a black woman. I mean, a black woman, period. Any type of black. I thought that dude. Right. He didn't take me as a guy that I would see with a black woman. And she's like, glad she got out, but she never bag mouthed him. But now it looked like their relationship probably ended because he was probably smashing Joy. Everybody thought Shady was the one. Everybody thought Shady McCoy was the one that was yeah, everybody thought Shady McCoy was the one that was with Joy Taylor. But now Joy Taylor is in a situation to where it seemed like if you watch the show, Shady was always throwing his shot at Joy. No matter what Joy said, Shady was, you right, Joy. We got to listen to Joy on this one. And it was like he was shooting his shot and trying to back Joy, and Ocho will be totally tearing both of them down, making her comments sound totally irrelevant or stupid. And right away, and I mean right away, Joy Taylor, the whole time was there. Shady seems lame. It seemed like he was salty that he couldn't hit because Ocho was hitting, but he would be shooting his shot and be trying to bring little hints up on the show. Like, yeah, well, certain people, they do this and that. Shady was like pissed, he's like, man, you hitting and I can't nobody else hit. Damn. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked bad. Well, Colin cares about his show. But even Colin Callher got caught looking at them breasts. So, yeah. Hey, they're impressive now. And she know what she's got. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't remember that?
We got all. I mean, two cities have glommed. We got all. I mean, two cities have glommed. We got all. I mean, two cities have glommed. We got all. I mean, two cities have glommed. We got all. I mean, two cities have glommed.
He was so flustered. There was nothing he could say. Nothing he could say, man. He was over there hypnotized. So, right, this went down on the show. They was damn, Colin. He tried to he tried to say two cities, but his mind was looking at two titties. Mm-hmm. Well, now, yes, it's not going to look good for her. So her countersuit is going to have to. Yes, it's going to have to come in and do the trick. He over there hypnotized. I know that's crazy, but this is what people didn't know. This was the reality of what was happening on the scenes.
I mean, two titties. It's like we got all. I mean, two titties have drawn all the championships and players. Well,
dude, we saw that so crazy. But now Taylor Rooks, people are starting to say, how did Taylor Rooks get her job? Who did she get with? I actually know. But we're not going to go into that right now. We're going to stay focused on this. But Joy Taylor, who we love Joy,
what you would do.
We wanted to see the best for her, but she did what she thought.
Every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come. These hypotheticals have got us in a chokehold
to get to the top. And her podcast show with Taylor Rooks wasn't very popular because they catered it to only women. Look on the bright side. At least Malika Andrews don't sexually objectify herself on ESPN. Yeah. Until the report comes out. Until the report comes out. Because that's next. Once you find out Swagoo was in there doing what he was doing when he walked her through the door, they was passing her around, knowing how that chick, her whole background, or her having intercourse with everybody she came in contact with, mental health issues, drinking hand sanitizer. Are you kidding me? I think everybody at the studio didn't have Malika Andrews. Drinking hand sanitizer, dog. Can you imagine that? Drinking hand sanitizer? Woo! Now, yeah, she had to get drunk, and there was no alcohol around, so she had to turn to hand sanitizer. Boy, if you knew about Malika Andrews' past, boy, it would blow your mind. How did she get it on ESPN? Now, her what if is crazier than Joy Taylor's. Far more crazy.
These hypotheticals have got us in a chokehold, and we must free ourselves. It's fun to argue about. It's fun to talk about what you would do in this scenario, or would you leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do. And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money, you're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, and you're moving forward with this person.
No, you know, my favorite hypothetical, because it's so ridiculous, is when you ask anybody if they would do something outrageous for like $1 million and they say no. It's like, okay, would you do it for 2 million? I mean, would you do it for what's the number? Like, anytime you add money into a hypothetical, people love feeling good about themselves by saying that they wouldn't do it for the money, but it's literally only because it's a hypothetical. If you saw this $1 million in front of your face and I said, do this, are you doing it? So I don't even know if hypotheticals are real indicators of the situation that's being discussed, because I'm starting to think people only use hypotheticals to lie about the circumstance.
Yep. They lie about the circumstances. Yep. Tell her, Taylor Rooks. So she told you right there. If the money's there, she's going. Everybody's got a price for the $1 million Charlie. And her price was very easy to get. And her hairstylist, who did her hair, who got Joy Taylor up on all the photos, as you can see, this is liked by Joy Taylor. Joy got her hired. She got all these obsessive pictures of Joy on her page still while she's filing the lawsuit. Women like this are dangerous. So we played a little bit of what we gonna do when we get to that Patreon. Because there's a lot of things, like I said, I told you guys about prior. No, we did a live stream. Who was better? Joy Taylor or Molly Curran? That's what the network wanted. They wanted a poll. They wanted to see who was going to respond, who was going to feel a certain way. And yesterday, that video I did got 20 views because of this controversy. I said, man, nobody talks about this video. Then bam, all of a sudden, the video pops up yesterday. Yeah, they called off the engagement. I showed all of it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Look at this. K-State thought I was lying. My undisputed video right here. Here's why Joy Taylor left undisputed. Almost 400,000 views, right? 2018. 2017. In April of 2017, I made a video saying Joy Taylor should have more of an active role on the show instead of just staying there. Let's take a look at that. May have gotten a job because she's the brother of Jason Taylor. If everyone keeps telling me she just got the job because her brother is Jason Taylor. But she's more than just a pretty face. And I would love to see her get more opportunities to speak on the show. This is not an easy job. Like, I seen Molly get more chances than Joy has so far. And it's not easy to go on TV and read a teleprompter and be able to deliver and have you. But Joy has her own ideas. And, she's got a very young point of view of looking at things. And I think that's refreshing to have on a show with two guys who are pretty much seasoned of how things were played back in the day. She has a very young appeal that could, hit the younger audience as far as things that they might not be, privy to. So that's why I thought Joy Taylor should have had more of a speaking engagement. So I've always kept it a buck in the situation. Then something happened. Few months later, they let Joy speak. And we covered that. And they decided to do something they should have done a long time ago. I made a video about this early on in the season. I was like, we need to hear more of Joy Taylor. We need to know her personality. We need to see it. The fans that's watching, we need to know what she cares about, what she doesn't care about. I don't want her to be the spokesman only if there's a domestic violence case. You know, this is someone that actually played sports before. She knows what it's like for, an athlete to come out and, and have certain issues. She can probably give a female's perspective to it, to a lot of these instances, and she probably just have her own opinion. So she's been doing a lot more at Fox, and I'm very happy to see more of Joy Taylor in there. So people who was judging her unfairly, I mean, she goes through a lot of, there's a lot of sickos out there. But besides all that, she handles it and takes it in stride. And she always manages to have fun and entertain the viewers, whether it's social media, on her Instagram account, where you can see more of her personality. As far as the big three, she did a great job interviewing and asking real questions, and not the like airhead questions you've seen most people do. She actually brought something to the equation. And I was like, okay, well, she's asking real questions. So, I'm very happy. When I see somebody who's taking the job very, very seriously and improving, you know, before like choking on her words or getting caught up with her words. Now she seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable, and they're letting her, express herself a little bit more. So I'm very happy about that. I think she's doing. So as you can see, I was always a champion of Joy Taylor being able to speak and champion for women, like people who are so equal sex. So in case, no, these are for the women who thinks we're being sexist. You guys are being sexist against her because she's a woman. And I've been showing you from the beginning, I have been fair to Joy Taylor all throughout her career. I was the only one championing for her to speak. I was the only one making videos saying that Joy Taylor, what she needed to do, she's doing. Nobody was doing it. None of you was speaking about Joy Taylor in 2017. I was. Now everybody knows who Joy Taylor is. Nobody knew who she was. So what are you talking about? So I kept it real from the gate, because to me, I didn't look at Joy Taylor as some sex symbol. To me, she was all right, but to me, I've seen better. She's attractive now, but she's never used to be that. I seen her when she was, regular. So it wasn't something that was like, oh my God, Joy Taylor, I gotta have you. It's like, no, it was never that. I don't think Molly's hot at all. I saw Molly in real life up close, and I'm like, all right. That's Molly Quorum. Yeah, when you see her up close, yeah, it's a whole new world. She looked like the Wicked Witch of the West. right, thank you. Yeah, I have you. I'm like, oh my God. They just must be looking at you from the neck down. Jesus. So, well, yeah, that's the situation. So when you start looking at it, and where it stands today, I've always championed for Joy's rise in the game. So for all the women up there who think I'm being sexist or like we just all for the man side and all that, you guys are misogynists. So before she was doing all these photo shoots and all of these different things, like almost of those trips, Joy didn't even pay for. Like her brother would take her on these trips. But you got to remember though, these are allegations. And I told you, the head guys at Fox Studio, trust me, Charlie Dixon, if you've seen and met Charlie Dixon, I'm telling you, it looked like he's grabbing dicks than he's grabbing anything else. These are the two guys at Fox Sports, two of the biggest guys there that run Fox Sports 1. Charlie Dixon, he looked like he wants to use your hair mousse rather than grab on you, female. This is your head of the studios. These are the guys that's saying who, what, where, who, what, and why. Are you kidding me? So we're doing that now. Now, the saying that she was going to claim that, hey, I'm going to get pulled off the air and all of these different things are happening to me. Oh, yeah, they always pull that move. Earl found out about the affair. You know, this is all juicy gossip now. Nobody's going to trust Joy and her friends anymore. Hello? Hey. It's always work day. I'm working right now. No, the insurance people inspector want to come over, so I'm trying to catch them. They haven't called me back. They called me once. Yes. But let me go ahead and finish this. I'll call you back. All right, baby. Now, when Joy went on I Am Athlete,
that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you have to you got to do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that just going to make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Right.
Wake
Yes,
up
this is
call, same
I just
time.
talked
How
you
would I
up.
not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you got to do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that just going to make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late.
It's dry.
I couldn't complain.
Yes, it's dry. They
I
put
couldn't
some
say
spray
no.
down.
Now I do.
Right.
Wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you got to do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that just going to make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Right.
Wake up call, same time. How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So
So she had to always prove it. So did she have to always get down with Charlie? Well, that was them calling about that's the insurance people calling about the basement. So they're going to send an inspector over and see if everything, the water damage and all that stuff. So they got to come over and see how it's going to work out and go from there. Oh, yeah.
it's fun to talk about what you would do in this scenario, or would you leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do. And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, or if their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. Their financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money. Financial status is what you want, fine, funny, fucking money.
And that's what she wants. This didn't age well. Did Uncle Shannon dip in? Oh yeah, here it come. Let me stick the dick in. Oh yeah. Shannon is already on tape. Shannon already on tape. So this whole thing, that Mama Shield. Dear Mama Shield. Yeah, dear Mama Shield. Yeah, dear Mama Shield. True. Charlie came in there like DiBiase, baby. Everybody's got a price for the $1 million man. That's right. Charlie Dixon DiBiase. What's your price? and she had a price. So allegedly, it's hard to believe all of this is legitimate. It just is, because we know this business. We know how hard it is for people in this business, especially females. And nobody has championed for Joy more than myself. So while Joy was going on vacation and taking these third shots to get on people's radar, to show people what's on the market, I was very much alarmed she was taking this approach. And I was like, Joy, you're kind of taking an approach that I don't think is comfortable. Now, I never would view certain people in a way or a light that didn't sit well with how I view situations, but from what I see, on the cusp of people saying that, oh, this is about greatness, this is about where we should be going, or should we be looking to go? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, on the Patreon. If y'all on the Patreon, we finna turn it up. So y'all gonna know what's really going on. Yeah, we're gonna tackle that real quick. Oh, well, when you want to go and find a situation that's better suited, no. I've never felt like that. I felt like if those people wanted to be like involved, they would be involved. But other people had no desire to be involved. Well, when you look at scenarios that you play out in your head all the time, you gotta right. You ask yourself the question: Is it worth? Is it really worth it? Earl Watson was the one. Earl Watson was the guy. Like, that was her and Earl Watson were two peas in a pod. But nobody knew they were dating. Then they had an incident that did not sit well with everyone involved. That's all they're going to do. Mm-mm. Facing the truth and facing reality becomes the norm that you gotta keep rubbing your head against the wall on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you can see Joy. The Miami Heat gave her a jacket that didn't fit over her boobs. They didn't know how to get the right size, so she could only wear it like that. So she's in the meeting with the guys.
Of the show change and head up to sets. The entrance for today's show is a little more dramatic because we had a behind the scenes crew for the first show. Me, Keyshawn, and Paul on set. We had a little wardrobe malfunction today. The button came off of my pants. What are you going to do? Autumn fixed it. Here's Keyshawn spinning the ball and him and Michael talking about how Keyshawn stole his first down celebration. We wrapped the show today with Keyshawn still having hands and talking about who is not going to make the playoffs this year. After the show, we walked over to another set to do our show photo shoots. We can get some new pics. There's Keyshawn modeling. Thanks to my crew for beautifying me again before the shoot. Had to get some new headshots, and that's it for day one of Speak. Catch you tomorrow.
So
For the shoots.
now, with that being said, right, we know exactly what it is that they want. Mm-mm-mm. This is the year of the truth. I thought that was last year. This is the year of the arrest. They just coming after everybody in the game. Now, no. No. I mean, I wouldn't say it's out the realm of impossible. If Joy wanted to sleep with Emmanuel Ocho or Acho, that's her business. Will it look bad? Maybe. But guess what? That's her business. If she feels the need that, hey, I gotta get down, then get down, baby. They was that part. Right. If she's sleeping with Ocho, like, do your thing, baby. Do what make you happy. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing we can do about that. Oh yeah. A lot of Sims in the chat. Man, this chat has been crazy though. I've been sitting here, y'all been wondering why I'm stopping talking because I've been reading y'all comments, man. This chat is crazy. A lot of simping going on in the chat. She's a regular looking woman. Yeah, I mean, she's Joy is a cute girl. To me, when I saw her, she was cute. But when I met her back in 2001, I only knew her because she was the sister of Jason Taylor. That was it. She didn't stand out as anything. You know, she wasn't looking like this, like she looked now. But believe me, if Joy Taylor wanted to get up with any one of y'all be like, you could be in a relationship. Your wife could be sitting on your lap. You'd be like, Joy Taylor was like, she want to get up with you. All right, push wife on the floor. All right, babe. I'm sorry. I don't know how long this gonna be, but I gotta take this. Y'all are out the door. Y'all out the door, man. So that's all we saying is, you know, get back to reality. No, they didn't. For some reason, it wasn't stated. No, it wasn't stated last time. You've been saying this for an hour, dude. Joy Taylor is no put. I think you were the first message on the whole thing when this whole live started. Joy Taylor is no pullout. I swear, this chat has been the craziest chat ever. I can't wait till we get to the Patreon side of things. Because when we break this down on the Patreon and I play that video, man, y'all gonna really know what's going on here. So we'll see what happens. But I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life, Ticket TV, Dreamers Pro. Welcome to HDII TV, Sports Talk with Jose Rodriguez. And I'm out the door. Hi, I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it.
No one knows Carcino and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it.